Hey, everybody. Welcome to Takeoff with John Clark, presented by Makefield Putters. And we got to get Saquon Barkley a new putter. I'm sure he doesn't need it for his golf game in the offseason, but let's welcome in Saquon Barkley and his mom, Tonya. Very, very special time for you guys because, of course, coming up, your first ever gala in Philadelphia at the Art Museum for the Michael Ann and Saquon Barkley Hope Foundation, the Hurdles for Hope Gala. That is going to be very, very special. So welcome in. I first wanted to ask you, how did this come about, having the foundation and then deciding to go big with this for your first gala?
I think it started off with when I first got drafted to the NFL, kind of talking to my mom and my father of things that we can do to make an impact and have change and make change. And we started doing little things here and there, and then the idea of building a foundation, taking it to another level, and wanting to honor my late grandmother, Michael Ann, and just have the whole mission and the whole idea of it being how can we make a change and an impact and give hope, especially to the youth. And then you come here, the way everything went last year, coming back home and being in Philadelphia and want to have a gala. We've done a lot of stuff in the last 7, 8 years, but I think it's time to let the world know, and especially the city of Philadelphia know what I'm about, what my mom's about, what our foundation's about, and ultimately raising money to be able to have an impact on our community.
And Tonya, for you, how early on did you start to instill some of these things with Saquon? Obviously an exceptional football player, but also to really help the kids and people who maybe don't have as much as all of us.
I think just for their childhood and the upbringing that we instilled in them was being transparent with them. We never lied to them. Maybe here and there a little, but for the most part, we was honest, open and honest about everything we ever experienced. So I think that kind of, and then the trials and tribulations we went through, and the help that we had, I think that also played the good part, a part in we want to give back. Him saying, you know what? I want to give back. I want to do more. And we started the foundation actually in 2018, which a lot of people is not aware of. Then we started getting a little more notice in 2020, but that was because we was a quiet foundation. We would do a lot of things that wasn't in the public's eye, so a lot of people wasn't really aware about the foundation or not, and not even aware of the things that we have done. So, yeah.
Very well said. We're going to get into a little bit more about the foundation. I wanted to ask how important it has been for all of you to have the family back together with Saquon coming back to the Philly area. I know, Saquon, your daughter, she may have had a little premonition about this, maybe even a year before you came back to the Eagles.
Yeah, I think my daughter can see the future a little bit as you're able to see on the dot. But coming home, to be honest, and when I played for the Giants, I lived an hour and 20, hour 15 away from my mom and dad. Now we're 40, 50 minutes away. So I think it's been a blessing just having be able to be so close, and just knowing what I stand for as a man, and how much that comes from my mother and my father, and my siblings and my family, and to be able to stay close and be around them. A lot of guys can't say that. So I've been super lucky and super blessed, especially, with having kids and them be able to see their grandmother and grandfather on both sides.
Yeah. What has it meant to you, Tonya?
Oh no, it's meant a lot. Again, like he said, he wasn't that far when he was in Jersey. So, it was the same. I would say maybe 20 minutes. It was 20 minutes more, but it is quicker here. And really, we still get to see the kids. Yes. So,
Yeah.
it really wasn't that much of a change.
Yeah.
It was a good change for the team.
Yeah.
But as far as like family dynamics and, the family staying close and seeing each other and being involved with each other and around each other, no, that regardless where he was in Jersey, to now where he's at in Philly, it didn't matter. We always make sure we all stood together.
That's awesome. And we're going to talk a little bit about the foundation in a second. I wanted to ask about Saquon's quest for greatness, because Saquon, you've said it a couple times. You want to be known as the greatest running back of all time. And, Tiger Woods, when he was a kid, he had Jack Nicklaus and the grand slams that Jack had up on his bedroom, the wall. And Michael Jordan even makes up some things that the opponent has said about him. They didn't really say it, like just to fuel him. Do you have any of that? Do you have stuff listed somewhere, things you're going after, motivation, stuff like that?
Yeah, I think growing up has kind of been, my whole mindset of just wanting to be great and just being super competitive. When I was a little kid, my dad used to be known as a really fast eater. And I remember, we'd eat spaghetti and I used to watch my dad and try to beat him, eat the spaghetti faster than him. But now as I get older and realize, that competitive side of me is always going to be there. But you really can't chase that. It's whoever is going to be the best running back of all time. It kind of there's no you know there's no way to actually quantify who is the best. It's all just opinions. So for me, I've kind of shifted from that and just being competitive within myself. And how can I attack every single day? Fall in love with the process. The good old saying, chop wood and carry water. And that's a mindset that I'm continuing to have right now. Obviously, the season's not going away. Or the last 2 weeks it hasn't gone the way any of us would like. But you just got to always have that mindset of just continue sticking to the process and how great and competitive you could be within the process. And when I do that, and God willing, I stay healthy, the rest is going to take care of itself.
So Tonya, when did you first notice? I mean, a lot of kids go play different sports, but when did you first notice, like, wow, my son wants to be the best and he's putting in all the work, and maybe even a side of him that you hadn't seen yet, where that dog comes out of him a little bit?
Well, to be honest with you, I wasn't a football person, so I would go to all his little league games and take him to practice when my husband couldn't take him. But it was really when he got into high school, and that's when his father said, "You come see this kid. You really got to see what's going on." And yeah, then I was like, okay. And when he sat on that couch and said, "I'm going to the NFL, and I'm going to buy you a house one day." At first, I just looked at him and said, "Okay, yeah, sure." And once he was in Penn State, then it was like, okay, wow, that's really how I can answer the question.
And what a moment that was. Saquon, did I read correctly that even though you've won a Super Bowl, you've got the most rushing yards ever in a season, regular season and playoffs, but is your proudest moment, am I right, that you bought the house for your mom and your dad?
I think, sadly, I love you. The birth of my children have passed that. But yeah, that's something that I wanted to do for a very long time, and since I was a little kid. And it's cool when you set your mind on something, and you truly believe in it, and you work for it, and you're able to accomplish that.
So, Tonya, I'm sure you've heard Saquon talk sometimes about how he's got some of the greatest running backs of all time now, basically in his phone, and he can call and get advice. Saquon, if I were to say to you, 13-year-old Saquon or whatever, you would be on the phone someday with Adrian Peterson, Emmitt Smith, and guys like that. I mean, is it still kind of wild to you?
It's surreal still. It's probably the coolest part about playing in the NFL. Growing up, my parents never really allowed me to, idolize anyone or really have role models. But I always was able to, admire the game and study the game and learn the game, and to be able to have, these guys in my phone, and, to be able to reach out to them when they reach out to me is probably the coolest part, because at the end of the day, I'm still just a little boy who's a fan of the game, just getting paid to play the game that I love since I was a little kid.
So what's the best advice you've gotten this year? Because we've seen the history of teams trying to defend a Super Bowl champion, even though you guys say you're not defending, but it's so hard. The NFL's built on parity. The NFL doesn't want you to win again. They want every team to have a shot. So what is the best advice you've gotten from some of these great running backs?
A lot. I can't really pick one. They all give great advice, and especially about what to see on the field, how to approach the game, how to approach life. They've been super helpful. But it's probably because I just read it again. But the Chop Wood Carry Water book, just fall in love again in the process. You can lose sight of that, and that's what I gotta get back to, is just fall in love with the process and being detailed in every little thing that I can do, and getting back to playing, the kind of football that I know how to play.
Hey, I'm John Clark, and we are here in Bensalem, PA at Makefield Putters. And I got to tell you, we want to thank them for being our new sponsors of the Takeoff Podcast. And I've got putting issues when I get out there. I'm 6'5", and I had to get a custom putter. when I got this custom putter here, it changed my putting game. You know, when it's wintertime and we go get jackets, different size people need different size jackets. Well, we got to get a custom putter for our size, our type of swing and everything. They break it all down for you. They build up the putter from scratch. They have all the data, the analytics, the statistics to get you to be a good putter. And when I came here to Makefield Putters and I started to use my custom putter, I gotta tell you, I make it with Makefield. So next time you're on the course with Makefield Putters, go birdies. So about the Foundation Gala event, ultimately, obviously, you're going to help out kids, underprivileged youth and families with this. I love the scholarships for female student athletes, but also the impact investments. You're basically investing in our future and the kids and helping their future. So how special is this to you that you're going to be seeing the fruits of your labor and you're going to be seeing these kids as years go on and how much you've helped them?
It's super important and super impactful to me. That's what you do it for. At the end of the day, you know, people might remember, you know, what I was able to do on the football field, scoring touchdowns, big runs, but it's the impact that you have on people that goes a long way. It's having our gala, raising money, putting on events, building community centers, homeless shelters, that little interaction that you might have with someone at the at a Walmart, and taking a picture and smiling with them. Those are stuff that goes a long way, and those are stuff that really matters because football's, only here for such a short period of time in your life. So having an impact on people is much more important.
Yeah, and we're going to be putting up on the screen how Eagles fans and everybody can get tickets to the Michael Ann and Saquon Barkley Hope Foundation Hurdles for Hope Gala, Saturday, November 1st at the Art Museum, a great spot for it. Before I let you go, Saquon, one other question. Kevin Patullo said that you guys all met as an offense and everybody's communicating and this bye week can be as helpful as last year. How much did it mean to you and the offense, everybody getting together and communicating your ideas and trying to get the offense going here?
I think it's super important. Lost 2 in a row. But at the end of the day, 4-2 in a good spot right now. Just got to continue to get better. And I love, the conversation that we have. I love where the mindset that we're going to. But at the end of the day, we got to go out there and execute it. And, it's going to come down to tough detailing together. And that's the mindset that we're going to continue to have.
And you hope to find that offensive identity that you had last year or whatever that identity is?
I don't want to give too much scouting information in Minnesota, but we look forward to getting back out there and getting things back on track.
Right, it's not how you go, it's how you get back up. That's it. That's enough said.
When did you first tell him that? Thank you very much, and we look forward to the Michael Ann and Saquon Barkley Hope Foundation Hurdles for Hope Gala. Congrats on your inaugural event.
Thank you so much.